Like, what's that weird middle ground where people are kind of mature, kind of grown up, but still do a lot of stupid things? Oh, we call it teenagers. Yeah, we call that being a teenager. Dale, come here. And you know how teenagers are, right? They dress funny. Here you go. They're not, yeah. And they don't pay any attention to anything that you're saying. All they do is look at that device all day long. And you try to talk to them, and they're just staring away. Yeah. And you're like, hey, God has things for you. And what do? Yeah. And then you're like, hey, God has weighty things. I know you don't need to know that God loves you anymore. You've moved beyond that. But let me give you some of the deep things of God. And they're like, no. I've kind of settled out in the middle somewhere. They're living on pizza and Cheetos, right? Spiritual pizza and Cheetos. That's where they are. Do you want one of those? That's good for you. It's health food, right? This is the second category that I want to add, the perpetual teenagers. They're stuck in this repetition of unstable, unsettled, foundational Christian principles, right? There should be some depth to them, but there's not. They live in a weird in-between place where they're not a baby and not mature. They chase after spiritual wisdom from spiritual leaders that they chase around over and over and over because they haven't learned how to feed themselves yet. And so they go from TV preacher to radio preacher to book writer to this pastor to that pastor, always looking for a word, always looking for a prophet to speak into them, always looking for encouragement, always looking to be fed, because they haven't figured out how to do it themselves yet. They've got enough maturity to know that there is maturity out there, but not enough to walk in it. This is frequently what I call New Year's syndrome, right? New Year's syndrome. You know what I mean by that? This is where they start out trying to live their life for God really well. They try to go to church regularly. They try to pray. They try to read their Bible, try to give generously. They try to make good moral decisions, and it goes well for a while. But before long, those things begin to fade out, right? Like our New Year's resolutions. They begin to fade out. And then one at a time, those things drop off in their life. They don't do them anymore until they feel stuck. They feel stuck in their faith, still feel stuck in their life, and they kind of limp on, frustrated that they don't know what to do until they get that good message or that scary life event or that new year happens, right? When they resolve to be better, I'm going to be a better Christian this year. And so they start the cycle all over again. They live for things like revivals, churchy events, getting words, prophecies, anything to kind of kickstart that cycle again in their life because it's their only way that they know how to have any maturity is to have somebody else kickstart it for them. And the cycle continues over and over and over again. They may even look mature to some, but their immaturity can be spotted a mile away by their constant distraction and the junk food, spiritual food that they live on. We know these people. Some of us are these people. I've been these people, both. I've been both of these people in my journey. And both of these groups, listen, I want you to understand that they're not bad people, right? The spiritual babies that we have, and we have some. And the spiritual teenagers that we have, and we have some. They're not bad people. They've just never learned to grow up. And that's not a reason for us to look down on them or be upset with them, but it's a reason for us to encourage them. It's time to grow. It's time to grow. There are better things out there for you to have.